All wars, make no mistake, are oil wars. For Israel, but they're all oil wars at the end of the day. Since World War I, oil, resource, the number one resource in this whole world is oil. Oil is energy. The whole economy is energy. War is a continuation of politics by other means. Politics is a continuation of economics by other means. Economics, the whole economy is driven by oil. It's driven by oil. But what happens is that they need narratives for all the unremarkable retard dogs in society to bite on. They need to throw like an ignorance bone out into the public so all the ignorant, unremarkable retards can start gnawing on that bone and arguing about stuff. It's drugs, it's fentanyl. You know, the thing about fentanyl, why it resounds so close to everyone's heart is because it leads to protecting of children. And that's humans' hard line, right? So it's not really, the fentanyl thing is a double word score. Because fentanyl leads to, because let's say you don't do drugs. I don't care, well, they're killing a bunch of bums, they're killing a bunch of drug addicts. I don't care, right? No. It's also killing innocent children. And then there's the hard line. There's the hard red line when it comes to humans. So that's the double word score of fentanyl. And that's the bone, the ignorance bone that all the unremarkable retard dogs can, fentanyl, yeah, tame the children. You know, it keeps them busy. And they can argue and chew on that bone the whole time. No one cares who wins or who loses. They're just made to chew on the bone. And at the end of the day, there's just wars for oil. Venezuela is the biggest producer of oil in the world. Could that be part of it? No. Yes. It's probably the biggest part of it. Now, if some of what I also thought got my spidey senses tingling was the perp walks that they're showing. That, you know, they're parading Maduro around everywhere. Now, this could be what we're moving into, the sensationalism of news, I suppose. But it's just, it gets my spidey's psyop tingling. Because all these people are in the same club. So Maduro may be a dictator, but he was put in there to be the dictator. And he ran his course. And part of the deal was, listen, they're going to come get you. Going to take you back to the States, going to parade you around, right? And then we'll have a little kangaroo court. And I'll throw in something that, you know, you save some children, so we pardon you. You know, this is in a weird way, he has to put a lot of trust into the system that he's not the patsy, right? Which he could be the patsy. And that's if someone doesn't, you know, mistakenly suicide him in jail when he's sitting there. But that's a whole other story. Now, one of the reasons why America getting Venezuela is so important, the humble opinion of this piano, is the concept of, you know, if we don't do it, someone else will. So when we go down the geopolitical road here when it comes to oil and power and the economy and energy, if the American empire didn't go and control the number one oil producer in the world, well, someone else would have, because they're just kind of like a sitting duck. You know, it's like a vulnerable, pretty girl at the prom. If she doesn't have a boyfriend, well, she's going to get hit on, and eventually a boy's going to, you know, leave with her anyway. That would be China. If it wasn't the United States, it'd be China. Maybe Russia, but probably China. Now, there was, in the World Series, and I'm not a big sports guy, and I don't know their names, but there was a big hubbalaboo about how much they were paying these Japanese players, and one barely played, and he was like worth $700 million or something. And they couldn't, people, when they're chewing on their ignorance bone, too much money, why are they paying him so? He's sitting on the bench, right? They forget to realize that he's paid to not play on the other team. So they might not necessarily want to pay him that much, but that's how much they had to pay so they wouldn't have to play against him. So if they don't pay this guy, whatever his name is, I'm sure people know what his name. They're all Japanese names, so they're all like Kawasaki, Kuwahara. I don't know. They would go to another team, and they don't want to play against him. So when it comes to Venezuelan oil, they need to buy it. They need to take control of it, so they don't have China take control of it. And then China is control of the largest oil producer / energy / biggest economy in the world. And you also see people saying Canada's next. And then all the woke libtard Canadians who are chewing on their ignorance bone. Mark Carney, almost up. They're like, how dare you? That'll never happen. Listen, if Trump wanted to take over Canada, if and when he wants to, it will be a walk in the park for him. There'll be no pushback, and it'll just happen. Because it has to happen. And for all the Canadian ignorant, unremarkable retard dogs that are chewing on their ignorance bone, the reason why it has to happen is because it's either America or China. And now there's so many retards in Canada that because of their TDS, and this isn't a pro-con against Trump. I think they're all psychopaths. But because they hate Trump so much, they would rather have China take over Canada. And the reason why, this is what happens when we're in world wars. We're in World War III. It's just fought differently. It's not like World War II, World War I, where there's boots on the ground, where you're going to work and there's people coming over the hill shooting up and taking prisoners. It's not like that, but it's the same acquisition concept of a world war. Countries are being taken over. That's what happens in world wars. This country wants this country. It gets it or it doesn't. Now, why would it want it? For resources. So when you think about Canada, Canada is like that the Japanese player. It's like, listen, we don't really want the player, but we don't want the player playing on the other team. So they're going to and Canada is the 4th largest amount of oil in the country. So it's a factor. It's the 4th. You wouldn't really know it by the way Canadians live. You know, if you think about Saudi Arabia, which is 2nd or 3rd, I think, they all kind of are millionaires there. If you are a citizen. If you are a citizen in Canada, are you a millionaire? No. If you're an immigrant, you become a millionaire? We'll leave that to, I won't talk about that. But anyway, so in this World War III, which we're in, China wants Canada for its resources. And it's slowly infiltrating the political system too. There's a bunch of scandals. You won't hear it because we have a state-funded propaganda machine called the CBC, Canadian Broadcast Company. I call it Canadian Boomer Company because it just broadcasts to all the boomers. What? Yeah. Oh, Trump bad? For the children? Oh my God, right? I deal with it too, with the boomers I know. They're so scared, these boomers. It's actually pretty sad. But that's what's happening. So we either get taken over by China for oil and all the other magnificent resources that Canada has, because it's one of the most resource-rich countries in the whole goddamn world. So what's going to happen is that in order for Canada to not be a player on the Chinese team, because the last thing America wants is China in its addict. They don't want China to take over Canada, which they're trying to, so they're going to take over Canada. So it's just a matter of time. And they'll do it as easy as they did Majira. They'll just come in, absorb the party. It won't be a hostile takeover. There'll be no obscenities. There'll be no force. It'll be broadcast on the CBC to all the boomers that this is going to protect their wealth. And that's all boomers care about, is their wealth. What about my wealth? Well, it's going to affect your grandchildren. I'm not talking about grandchildren. I'm talking about my wealth. Is being absorbed into the states going to protect my wealth? I don't care about the grandkids. my wealth. Yes, it will. This is going to be great for your wealth. Oh, well, guess what? I fucking love Donald Trump.